This is Omar Nashashibi in Washington, D.C. with an update on the 232 steel and aluminum exclusion process. On August 28th, the U.S. Department of Commerce issued a request for public comment on their proposed revision to the exclusion process for steel and aluminum tariffs under Section 232. The Trump administration imposed a 25% tariff on imported steel and 10% on aluminum, tariffs that remain in place today on steel from around the world, except for imports from countries with which the U.S. has reached an agreement under the 232 tariffs. The U.S. has alternative arrangements with several countries, including Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, the European Union nations, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, and the United Kingdom. Steel and aluminum imports from everywhere else face those tariffs of 25% and 10% respectively. The exclusion process, which is still open and operating, allows a company to petition the Commerce Department for relief from paying the 25% or 10% tariffs if the department agrees that the importer cannot find a domestic source. This is a different exclusion process than the one run by the U.S. Trade Representative for the Chinese imports. The steel and aluminum tariff exclusions only apply to a company granted the exclusion, whereas under the Section 301 China tariffs, if USTR grants an exclusion to one company, it applies product-wide, meaning any importer can benefit by not paying those tariffs. The Commerce Department is essentially making four changes. The first is to the General Approved Exclusions, GAE process, where they will focus on the substance of objections rather than just the number and the volume of objections filed. The second is the creation of a General Denied Duties Exemption Exclusions process, a GDE. This would effectively automatically deny any exclusion request for products listed on the GDE, as Commerce would consider the product to be manufactured in the United States based on previous investigations and objections that it's received. The other two changes are related to certification of statements made. When a company requests an exclusion, they will have to demonstrate that they have made a reasonable effort to sort their product from the United States or from countries with which the U.S. has an alternative 232 agreement. Those are the countries I mentioned earlier. So Commerce basically wants to see what steps you've taken to find a U.S. source before you ask them for an exclusion from paying those tariffs on the imports coming in. That's the verification process. They also did the same thing for the steel and aluminum producers who are filing objections. What Commerce is proposing is a similar certification language on the objection form filed by a steel or aluminum producer. They would have to demonstrate that they can supply comparable quality and quantity of steel or aluminum and make it, quote, immediately available to requesters. They do define immediately available as within 8 weeks. What this means for manufacturers and distributors. Importers of steel and aluminum should take note of a new exclusion process and anticipate new steps and possibly some more certainty in some cases in the Section 232 steel and aluminum exclusion process. As always, please contact CLA for more information on the steel and aluminum tariffs and the new exclusion process.